Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. This is the third lecture in this series of Managerial Economics, and in this lecture today I'm going to discuss with you all the theory of demand or demand analysis. What is demand? So basically demand in terms of economics means a desire of a consumer to buy something which is backed up by the willingness to buy the product and ability to pay for that particular product is called the demand. So we have three essential items here. One is the desire, second is the willingness, and third is the ability. So the demand must be backed up by all of these three elements, then only it will be a demand. Otherwise it is not called demand, it is simply or merely a desire or the wish of the consumer. So if I take up an example to explain this, I will take my own example. Say I want to buy the Mercedes, okay, and I look at my savings and I find that okay, I'll need another 1 or 2 years to have enough of saving to purchase that kind of thing. So what is so whether this is demand or not, so we'll have to check all of these three elements whether it is present here or not. So in my statement I said that I wish to purchase the Mercedes car for myself, but my savings are not enough. So here the ability is not here, since this is one of the essential element of the demand is not present. So that my desire to when I say that I wish to purchase a Mercedes cannot be said to have create any demand. I am not creating any concrete demand. So I hope the concept of demand in terms of economics is clear. Now we move on to the next slide. In this I'm going to discuss the various concepts related with the demand. As we know that we only talk of the term demand, but demand can also have various contexts to it. So here I'm going to explain. One, price demand. Whenever we say demand, that means the ability of a consumer and willingness to buy a commodity at the given price. See, when I say desire, willingness and ability, these are the three important parts that creates a demand in terms of economics. Then you might ask that what is the difference between desire and the willingness? If I say I desire, that means I am willing. No, here willingness is slightly different. Willingness here means that you are willing to purchase that commodity at the given terms and condition, you can say. Okay, desire is something that you have, you need something, or because of your lifestyle or because of the fashion and trend you may wish to purchase something. But whether you will be willing to purchase it or not, it will only come down to when you go search for the product, whether online, offline, in the market, and look at the various options available, right? And then you may like the option provided by one seller, you may not like the option given by the other seller. So your willingness to purchase that particular commodity may differ. It will not be same. That is why whenever we purchase something, we go to different shops, okay, to ask for the availability of the product and the prices and everything. So willingness is something that you are willing to purchase that particular product at the given terms and condition, or the terms and condition which are being offered, and in that terms and condition, price is the foremost important condition or the term that actually makes a consumer to decide whether to go for it or not. Then of course, whatever price is offered to you, suppose the price offered to you for a particular commodity is different, slightly different from one shopkeeper to another shopkeeper. So of course you would want to purchase, you will be willing to purchase the commodity from that seller or the shopkeeper who is offering you a slightly lesser price. Okay, but even then you do not have that much amount of money with you at that time. So can you buy that? No, you cannot buy at that time. You will say, okay, I'll come back and I'll buy it. Right now I do not have that money, or I do not have the credit card with me or the debit card with me. So at that time, even then you are not creating any demand. So here in this concept of price demand, in this I want to say that the ability and the willingness to buy a specific quantity at the prevailing price is known as price demand, means the demand that you create in context of the given price. Next is income demand. When we talk about income demand, means when you are creating a demand for particular product at the given level of income. Okay, then in context of that income you are demanding something. Okay, then it is called income demand. Next is market demand. Individually we create demand for different things. Suppose I want 5 kgs of surf every month, then other neighborhood in my neighborhood others also want 5 kg, somebody may need 2 kg, 3 kg, 6 kg. If we add up all of these demand from all the household for a particular product, that becomes market demand. So simply individual demand, when it is summed up, it is called market demand. And the next and the last one in this is cross demand. Now what is cross demand? Well, we will discuss about this in detail. So this demand is actually about the two related commodities. In the previous ones we were talking about specific commodity, but here we are talking about two different commodities which are related with each other in one way or the other. Now, in terms of economics, how two commodities can be related? They can be either substitute or they can be complementary. So the two commodities are called substitute to each other when one can be replaced with the other. When a commodity can be replaced with the other commodity, and they are called complementary when they have to be used together. The examples of substitutes can be tea and coffee. The most the one that comes most easily to the mind. And in case of complementary, the basic example we give of needle and the thread, or fuel, car, printer and cartridge, etc. So here what is happening, in case of cross demand, the quantity demanded for one product, say tea, depends on the price of the other related commodity, say the price of the coffee. So if the price of tea or the price of coffee is increasing and decreasing, so due to the change in the price of one commodity, the consumers may switch to the other product which is somehow closely related. So at that is creating the demand for the other commodity. That is called the cross demand. Why? Because here the demand for a product is not increasing or decreasing because of its own factor determinants, but it is increasing or decreasing because of the changes in the prices of related commodities. And in case of related commodity, the commodity can be related it could be substitute or the complementary. So that is called the cross demand. Now moving on to the next slide, this is about types of demand. So demand is also of various types. Okay, so let us discuss of them one by one. We have firstly direct and indirect demand. It is also called producers goods or consumers goods. Direct demand is the demand which is created for a commodity, and that commodity is being directly used by the consumers. We can also say it is the demand for the consumable goods or the end use goods. But the indirect demand is the demand which is created by the producers, that they use those products in order to produce new products, and at that time that demand for that particular product become indirect demand. Okay, so it has its own implication for the managers. If you know whether the demand for your particular product is coming from the consumers directly, or if it is coming from the industries or the producers indirectly, then you can take various decisions accordingly. Suppose you are the manufacturer of something or a commodity which is utilized by both the public directly, consumers directly, as well as it is being utilized by the producers in order to manufacture certain goods, then of course you will have a greater or the broader consumer base. Okay, so all of these concepts help the manager in taking various business decisions. That is why it is very important to understand the type of the demand for your particular product. Now next is derived demand and autonomous demand. This concept is also somewhat similar to the direct demand and the indirect demand. The derived demand here means the demand is based on something else, it is derived from something else. But on the other hand, autonomous demand is that particular product is directly used in the production of something, it is not derived from something else. Okay, so we can say that this fuel, it has its own, does not actually create anything, but it is being utilized in running various machines and automobiles. Okay, so that is something we can say it is a derived demand. And also sometimes we can say that the tires, they do not have any usage of its own. You cannot use a tire on its own. What utility does it serve? But it can only be used with some automobile, whether it is a car or it is a. So actually, these are the products which are being which are individual products. It has its own sector and it has its own industry, but they are further consumed by the other products. So this is also the concept of composite demand basically. I hope it is clear. Now moving on to next one, durable and non-durable goods demand. It is very easy to understand from the name itself. Durable and non-durable goods demand. The demand for the goods which are durable is called durable demand, and the non-durable goods, the durable goods which last longer, generally most of the things, and non-durable is something which can be utilized only once, and it has the expiry or the time limit to be used, and this is the another classification. Firm and industry demand. The demand for a particular product for individual firm is the firm demand, and sum total of all the demand curves of individual firm becomes the industry demand. So basically it is an individual demand, and this is the market demand, you can say. Now the next one is total demand and the market segment demand. This is another concept of firm demand and industry demand, you can say. And then we will move on to short run and long run demand. Short run demand and long run demand. The demand which is in the short run within the period of 6 months to 1 year, that is called the short run demand, and the long run demand is that goes beyond 1 year. Joint and composite demand, as I have already mentioned, derived and autonomous demand, these two concepts are almost similar. So the products which are required jointly means two products has to be used together, that becomes a joint demand, like the demand for the you can say the fuel and the car, you can say it's a joint demand. And composite demand is like in a car you use so many things, which sometimes all of those things are produced by different sectors. Let's take an example of laptop. A laptop uses so many things, and all of these things are somehow produced by different sectors. Like the screen will be produced by someone else, and the keypads will be produced by someone else, and all of these things. So together they come and assembled to ultimately form a laptop. So that is called the composite